think Donald Trump has voices in his head. And these voices tell him to raise all these issues. And from a negotiation standpoint, I think my colleague is right. I negotiate settlement of cases and I start off high and then we meet in the middle. This might be his tactic and strategy. But the reason I say voices in his head is because I do disagree with my colleague. China has been investing in Panama and the Latin America quite a bit, but they're investing all over the world, including here in the U.S. I haven't read or seen any data that says that they're controlling both sides of the Panama Canal. And so are they a threat? I haven't seen or heard anything that they're a threat to the Panama Canal. But the treaty itself, and I've read parts of that treaty, there's no enforceability in that treaty that says the U.S. can buy it back or take it back. It does say we have the right to defend the neutrality of it, and that's fine. If he's talking about that one, sure. But there's got to be a threat in order for that to happen. And why pick a fight with Panama, who's one of our closest allies? Makes no sense.
Defend the neutrality. That's important language. Thank you for pointing that out. Scott, let's talk about our current president, Biden, signing that stopgap bill into law on Saturday, Prevailing questions among Democrats over the last few days. Where has he been in all this?
Well, where do you want him to be? I mean, this is a legislative fight. He said he would sign whatever both sides put before him. He really doesn't have a dog in the fight other than the fact that he's the president and he has that signature authority. The Republicans are the one driving this debate, who can't come up with a deal and, quite frankly, ultimately are going to be sharing power with the Democrats in the House and Senate even after January 20th. And so I'm not sure what the media or the Republicans and the Democrats want Biden to do or weigh in or not, because he doesn't have the power and influence as a lame duck president. And so I don't have a problem with him sitting back and saying, give me a bill to sign and I'll sign it. I got about 20 to 30 days to go. Why am I picking a fight or getting into the fight? Let me just go quietly.
I was expecting maybe a photo of him signing that bill, but you're right. He has 20, 30 days left. He's enjoying the holiday. Scott, let me stick with you for a second, because there is one Democrat we did hear from during the shutdown, Hakeem Jeffries. We're hearing that name more and more. Do you think he's the new voice of the Democratic Party?
I think he's been the new voice of the Democratic Party. He's a rising star. He would have been the House Speaker had things worked out in this last election. But he is going to be a significant voice on all Democratic matters, including who's going to be, as far as influence, who's going to be the new chair of the DNC. He is a right mix of leadership, intellect, deal making, and really understands the political landscape, and yet still sits down with Mike Johnson and cuts deals. I think he is the future of the Democratic Party, but more importantly, I think he's just what the Democratic Party needs, and America and the Republicans need, vis-a-vis moving legislation forward and really moving the country forward despite being on opposite sides.